Welcome to From the Concrete, the series that recognizes pioneers, innovators, trendsetters, and most of all, the next generation of change makers by giving them their flowers now. I'm your host, Brianna Elmore. Today we have yet another amazing guest. First of all, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get to your bio. But we have Rochee Jeffrey. How are you, Rochee?
I'm great. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so excited to do this show with you. But before we get to this show, we must get to this amazing bio, okay?
All right.
Rochee Jeffrey is an award-winning writer, director, and performer. Originally from Jamaica, she's brought her sharp wit and storytelling chops to hit TV shows like Showtime's Smil, Hulu's Woke, and Grownish, where she's flexed her skills as a co-executive producer. She's the writer behind the Oscar-qualifying HBO short Suitable, and her short films have hit over 40 festivals. She's currently working on an animated series for Netflix with Lizzo as the lead voice and executive producer. Also, she's recently developed a dramedy series with Jay-Z and Megan Thee Stallion. Rochee co-created, co-wrote, and directed the NAACP Image Award-winning podcast, Yes, We Cannabis. As a performer, she's appeared in short films. But that's not all. She's also braved the stand-up stage. In her solo show, The Troll was selected for United Solo Fest and Hollywood Fringe. Welcome to the show, Rochee.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. I'm so excited to get to this show. Thank you for being here.
Of course. This is amazing. Yes. And I love all the plants.
We love all the plants.
Yes.
Okay, we want you to feel comfortable, and we are so excited to get to it. Are you ready to dig in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's start with getting to know more about what led you on your path in getting to the root. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to just start prepping, and we're going to do our planting, and we're going to do some talking.
Okay.
All right?
Let's do it.
All right, so first things first, these gloves.
Okay. I got big, manly hands.
These-
Let's see if it works. Okay, we're good.
See, these are good. These are good. These
Yeah.
are tested.
Yeah, okay.
So
Got
our
it.
first question is, how have your childhood experiences shaped your multi-hyphenate career as a writer, director, and performer?
I mean, I think when I was born in Jamaica, when I was 6, my mom moved to when I was 2, my mom moved to America to go to Howard University and left me in Jamaica. And so I think I spent a lot of time kind of by myself, living with this family that had much older kids. And I think that shaped my sense of imagination and storytelling. And then also the desire to be seen.
Yeah.
I think that most people who are in entertainment, whether you're behind the scenes or in front of the camera, you want to be seen.
Yeah.
You want to be heard. And that sometimes is made to be like a negative thing. And I don't always think it's a bad thing. I think that early childhood experience, those formative years, really planted in me a sense of like, hey, somebody pay attention, somebody listen to me. And now I think as an adult, as a creative, I'm interested in kind of telling stories that allow people who we typically don't spend time with to be seen. And I think for me, that has evolved from like performing. I actually started off as a performer when I was a kid. When I first moved to America, one of the first things I did was audition for a musical. And then as I got older, I realized that there were other talents and skills that I could bring to the table. And so that has allowed me to really kind of shine in different ways. But really with the interest of like, again, centering people like myself. And sometimes the best way to center people like yourself is to center yourself in your work. So that's, I think, kind of where some of that comes from.
Yeah, and I think that that's a beautiful way to put that, because I think everybody just wants to be seen in general, but especially creatives. And so, how do you think that all that has fueled the authenticity with which you move forward to do just that in your art?
I mean, I think I'm doing the artist way right now, actually. And I had kind of a breakthrough this week where I was like, yeah, sometimes when you're in the entertainment business, the business can it can sometimes be an obstacle to your creativity, and you lose yourself along the way, and you're in service to contracts and studio objectives and platform objectives. And I think that I have kind of had a breakthrough where I was like, no, I need to be about me selfishly as an artist. Like, what are the stories I want to tell? What are the things that get me excited? And I think that focus on my original ideas and what I wanted to do when I first got into the business is something that I'm like going back to and finding that voice and that perspective again.
I think that that's really good too, because I feel like as an artist, you have to be the person that messes with your art the most. You know what I mean? So like, you have to be the one that is like, I would watch this if I didn't make this. And so because you want to be able to center self and story and center maybe the people that are maybe not the underdog, but people who are less represented. Which do you think that contributed to you being such a multi-hyphenate? Like, the writer's like, okay, well, I want to write the stories because I want to tell them, but then it's like direct because I want to make sure it's accurately portrayed, and then perform because it's like, all right, I really need to make sure that this is seen. Do you feel like that desire for that is what fueled you to become a multi-hyphenate, or it's just natural?
No, I think it's both. I think that over time, I realized that, to get certain things done, I would have to do it myself. And doing it myself means, taking on different roles. But then also, I think just naturally, those are things that come to me and are areas of interest.
Yeah.
So it was never like forced. It was like, this is just a natural extension of who I am creatively. And then along the way, I lost some of those things because of like the industry, because of society, and it's my way of like, my journey now is coming back to myself in that way and recognizing what you're saying, that sometimes the best way to get things done is to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely feel seen by that statement. So you've worked on a variety of shows, from premium cable shows, Smith, streaming series like Woke, and Disney branded entertainment's Grownish. What is the connective tissue that makes you the perfect fit for these very different projects?
I think I was telling somebody the other day, like, the thing that I think I do well is that I'm an idea smith. And so I may not be the person who's their first draft is amazing. You could just go off and shoot it. But I know that I'm somebody who can generate ideas, and I know that I could generate ideas across different tones, across different genres, and I can fix problems narratively. And so that's my selling point, is like being very creative. And that creativity can lend itself to all sorts of different kinds of shows, genres. And also now I've also experimented with different mediums too, from narrative podcasts to short films to TV, and now a solo show. So that creativity knows no bounds, and that I can take to different shows and different tones and so forth.
Also, just kind of hearing what you were saying about your early life and just how formative it's like, that adaptability. Do you think that is what kind of has helped you as an idea smith?
Yeah, I think also I have ADD. And when you have ADD, a lot of writers do, actually. I would say probably most writers have ADD, in my experience. It's, ADD is a blessing and a curse. And so it allows me to do different things and to be a multitasker and to, generate a lot of ideas and live a lot in my head. And I think outside of the box, because because we don't think in the same way that everyone else is. We're neurodivergent. And so the way we think about story and the way we think about creativity is just different. We're not bound by the same kind of constraints as a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, sometimes I'll go on a tangent and you're like, girl, where are we going? But I'll find my way back to.
We always get home.
Yeah, we always get home. So I think for me, that's, if I were being honest, that's probably why I'm so creative because I have ADD.
But I think that's beautiful though, because sometimes, like you said, like you were even saying, like wanting to be seen can be seen in a negative sense, or people being like, oh, you got, ADHD, whatever. I feel like the way that you beautifully turn these things into art is amazing, and I think that is just a testament to who you are as a person and as a creative, because it's like, okay, well, this is something somebody else would normally say, but then it's like, let me show you why it's so much beauty in all the things.
Yeah, I think it's a journey for me. I think I had to learn how to embrace all of myself, even the things that were negative, because it's the thing that also makes me special. It's annoying when I can't find my keys or I lose my wallet 10 times in a day, but there's also the other side of it, which is this brain that has the ability to do interesting things. And so we have to, I think as artists, it's important to, the more you love yourself and the more you can embrace yourself, the better your work will be ultimately. I've never seen a great artist who does not have at least some level of like self-love or appreciation for their work, because you would never share it with anyone otherwise. Yeah. Like you have to believe and love and appreciate yourself to be willing to put things out there into the world.
Oh my God. You're about to make me start crying. This is so good, but I think that that's important because especially as artists, and for, being minorities and being women and having all the intersectionalities that make us up, it's just like you're told so much, like you're weighted down so much by the things that make you different, and to be able to just celebrate those things and not shy away from them and lean into them to make more authentic art that resonates with people, again, a superpower.
Oh, yeah. The more you love yourself and the more authentic you are and just fully embracing yourself, the better your creativity will be. Yeah. Creativity doesn't work if it's surface level.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Speaking of going deeper than surface level, as a stand-up, it's very important to have like the introspective portion of that art form being present when you're doing stand-up, right? So what were some of the things that you've learned about yourself in that process of stand-up? Because you have to kind of make fun of yourself first before you're able to either make fun of others or make them feel comfortable.
I think for me, it's been really empowering. That was the reason why I stayed away from stand-up for so long, is because I was afraid of putting myself out there. And that comes from a lack of self-love, a lack of, just fully appreciating myself. And I think once I was able to be like, this is who I am, it is what it is. I'm going to get up on this stage. I'm going to make jokes. You might heckle me. You might call me fat. You might call me out of my name, whatever. Like, once I was able to just fully embrace myself, none of those things kind of mattered as much. And I was able to just go for it and talk about myself and free myself from a lot of those constraints. And that's been a lot of fun. It's just like super empowering to be able to do that and to make fun of yourself and to learn more about yourself. I think the process of doing stand-up has allowed me to learn more about myself creatively and otherwise.
Yeah, and I think too what makes me laugh the most with a comedian is like, you can't tell me anything about me, right? You can't joke on me. I could probably do a better joke on myself than, somebody else can. So it's like, once we get that, and then that takes the power out of, somebody else coming back. So it's like, okay, everything isn't so bad. You know what I mean? It's just like everything doesn't have to be judged so harshly.
100%. It allows you, like stand-up, for me, as somebody who's a comedy writer, it allows you to just embrace your voice, to embrace essentially like, hey, it is what it is. I'm standing up here. You're going to either love this or you're not going to like this, but that doesn't define me either. And so there's a certain confidence that comes along with that.
Yeah, I love that. Again, you better speak up in here. All right, we're going to do something with our flowers too. Our flower seeds. Sorry. Okay. All right. So, how has your perspectives on projects changed since the start of your professional career to now, especially considering the many hats that you're wearing?
I was once enamored by Hollywood and had a lot of, the fantasy of it all of like, you go to Hollywood, you do something great and, everything explodes and is great for your career and blah, blah, blah. I think now, as I said, I'm going back to being an artist and less of, somebody who collects a check
Yeah.
and works for somebody else's vision. I've become more in love with just artistry and creativity. And that's been very freeing. And recognizing that Hollywood, this is maybe too much, but it's the truth. Hollywood is kind of a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And if you buy into that lie, you will waste a lot of your time.
Yeah.
The thing to remember is that like your creativity transcends the paradigms that exist in the business. And it's really just about you and maybe an audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've learned, I think, over time is like to just get deeper with me and get more comfortable with what I have to say and what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's changed the way that I approach the work that I do and the work that I do take on. I wanted to say something and I want it to be meaningful and I want it to feel visceral for me, and not just like, oh, it's a check or it's a great name or it's a big company. Like, what is it really saying about me and about the world?
Mm-hmm. And I think that intentionality, it just continues to bleed into the work, right? So it's not just like, oh, it's just not something. It's like you can feel that you were intentional about choosing to be a part of whatever this project is. And so that, I feel like that would have to feel more gratifying.
100%. And I think at the end of the day, you'll make less money doing that, right? But or you might not. Like, those are also the people who kind of like when the world finally catches up with them, that's when they explode, right? Because they took risk and they were willing to be ahead of their time and not have people get it right away. But yeah, it's a beautiful journey. And art, this Hollywood creativity, writing, film, television, whatever, it's not a destination. It's a journey. And you can ask me this question 5 years from now, I might have a completely different answer. But where I am now, that's how I feel about things. It's like, yeah, it's about being in service of your vision and your artistry.
Yeah, and evolution is the whole goal anyway, right? So it's like I would hope my answers would change in the 5 years, And also I think that I should ask you, do you think that because you've found new confidence from doing stand-up, do you think that has bled into just the way that you're approaching stuff now? And like that kind of was like a tipping point for your perspective to change and be like, oh, everything is not that, it's serious, but not that serious to the point where my worth and everything is just on the line for this one project.
100%. Stand-up has absolutely changed me fundamentally. I don't have the same kind of fear about moving through the world. And creatively, I don't have the same fear. And also, it's a validation of your voice. I think that when you're a writer, and drama writers have the disadvantage of there are not a lot of ways for you to demonstrate your skill outside of like the writer's room, unless you like say write a play or a short film. With comedy, the beauty is like you can demonstrate that skill in so many different ways.
Yeah.
You could be on Twitter and making people laugh. You can do stand-up. You could do improv. You could do sketch. And so comedy and doing stand-up allowed me to see that what the industry had been telling me at times was a lie, that I was being gaslit creatively, right? And then when you go out into the world and you're making people laugh and you're, expressing yourself and then you're like, oh,
this was funny. I am funny, like funny. I said.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I'm speaking to an audience that's looking for, the audience and the industry are two different things. And they rarely overlap. And so being able to go out into the world and just make people laugh and engage with them. This is funny to me. Let me see if it's funny to other people. I'm like, oh, yeah, it is. It was very validating. And once you get that sense of validation, you have more confidence and you can lean into, your work. There's a reason why, like, some of the most impactful creatives are writer-performers. Because there is something about being able to, like, there's a confidence you get from being able to perform and then translating that to the work on the page. And so, yeah, I found that to be really invigorating.
Yeah, and also it's kind of like it's harder to be weighed down with imposter syndrome when you can literally see the instant gratification of a joke going over well.
100%. Because it's like, oh, I'm funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me nothing. Like, I know. And sometimes the unfortunate part is that there are people who will try to steal your shine, to make you feel like you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not funny enough. And being able, and that's by design, right? They're doing that for a reason. Being able to go out into the world and see the response, that it nullifies all of that noise. All that noise goes away. Or you go out into the world and they're like, girl, you're not funny. Then you're like, ooh, maybe I need to work on it. You know what I mean? But either way, it's informative. It's real information that you can use to inform your work.
Last question I have for you is, you have an NAACP Image Award winning podcast, Yes We Cannabis. It's not only hilarious, but it also shines a light on many social issues. So, like, how are you able to kind of bridge that gap between it being not only funny, but then also being something that can hold a mirror to society in a way that, like, it's palatable, right?
Yeah. My motto as a creative is laugh, cry, think. So everything I do, it's always going to be comedy forward, but it's also designed to speak to humanity, to connection, and it always has heart. And I also want you to think, right? I want you to engage with subject matter that you might not necessarily think of in a comedy context, but I think you can make anything funny.
Yeah.
And by making it funny, it makes it more palatable and enjoyable. And so that is the thing that kind of guides everything that I do. And so, yeah, I think it's, if you, whenever I break story, I'm always thinking, okay, yes, story. I don't actually think about the comedy first. I actually think about the emotions, the characters, the themes. Then I go, how do I make this funny? Right. And I layer the comedy on top. And so that's why that was one of the things I was most excited about when people listened to the show. And they were like, yeah, this was really funny, but it really has some stuff to say. That was intentional. And that's always, everything I do is never just silly, ha, ha, ha. It's always got some layers to it. And I'm always trying to say something to the world through the work. Because otherwise it's like, why? I'm never going to do a broad comedy. That's just not me. I want it to be really funny, but I also want you to be like, ooh, I never thought about that.
Yeah. And I think that's just you being a good steward with your platforms, right? Because it's just like, okay, I have to still make sure a message is conveyed. You know what I mean? And again, good on you for understanding, like, just it's way more palatable. Yeah. It's less preachy. And it's like, okay, now I can kind of, it's like, okay, now that the awkwardness and the elephant is out the room, we can talk about the real stuff.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, we're still having fun. I'm not preaching to you. I'm not your mom. If you don't want to learn it, you don't have to. But this is you can't ignore the information.
100%. Yeah, and I think people hear Yes We Cannabis and they're like, okay. Because I'm not really even a cannabis person, but I decided to do this project with my co-creator because he was a pharmacist turned a weed connoisseur working in the cannabis industry. And there was, as we were talking about it, we were like, oh, there's so much we can really say about Black entrepreneurship, about this business that is a legitimate business now, and just about, like, you know, the recidivism and people transitioning from prison and what does that look like? That's real, right? So I think it's really I think when you have a platform, and I hate to give Black people any more burdens, but as a Black person, as a Black woman, as an immigrant, as so many different identities that Trump probably hates, I feel like it's important to make sure that, you know, you are doing as much as you can with what you have. Yeah. Because it's like, okay, otherwise, not everybody gets an opportunity to make a podcast with Audible. With this amazing cast that we had. Not everybody gets a chance to write for television or write for film. So what are you going to do when you have your shot? That's how I look at it. I would rather, you know, take big swings and make more of an impact than just do something that's like run of the mill that people will forget about tomorrow.
Yeah, and I feel like that's, again, the impact it it contributes to the longevity of the project, right? So for years to come, somebody's going to be able to listen to that. And I also just love the avenue that you guys took, even with the naming mechanism, right? It's just like, okay, just letting you know, you don't have to be so serious. Like, you can just calm down, you can relax, you can have a good laugh, but you can also leave here being like fed in multiple ways.
Yeah, I think it's really key. And I think it's something that comedy sometimes struggles with, honestly. And it's something that I really am focused on getting better at being able to execute. You know, that balance and making sure you don't lose the comedy along the way. Because there are a lot of comedies out right now that I'm like, this is not a comedy. Not that it's bad. It's just that there are no ha-has.
Yeah.
We're the ha-has.
Yeah.
So making sure that you still have that and you have the substance.
Yeah. Well, I just love that. Now, you've done so much in your career, but we would love to know how you fill your own cup in, pour into yourself. You ready?
Yes.
Right. So as we do this segment, I'm going to literally pour into your cup.
Okay.
Some of this good old sweet tea.
Yes, I've been feeding for the sweet tea.
Feeding for the sweet tea. All right, here we go. Let's get started. Ooh, this sounds so refreshing.
This sounds like the South.
Sounds like the South. So first question. As a multi-hyphenate, you are constantly performing and putting out work for others' enjoyment. And so how do you fill your own cup in order to prevent potential burnout?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think, it's important for me to get out of LA regularly. I just spent 2 weeks in New York, and it was so nice. It was, LA is a great city, but it's also, I think because there are palm trees, people think that it's not as intense as, say, in New York. But it is, just in a different way, especially in the entertainment industry. And so getting away, vacations regularly, even as, like, I'm going to Miami next week. I'm like, I've been to Miami 475 times. But to me, it's like one of the best places to vacation in America. So just like getting away and having a chance to just decompress. I think it's also important to have boundaries. Just this week, I emailed a producer about something. I was like, look, I can't turn this in today because I'm tired. My brain is fatigued. Creativity takes up a lot of our energy and our brain power. And sometimes, because we're not doing like back-breaking work, sometimes we think, oh, we're not exhausted. It's like, no, it's a different kind of exhaustion. So just being able to give yourself like, nope, I'm taking this week off. I'm taking this day off. I'm taking, I need more time. I think those things help me to like refill my cup.
Yeah, and I think also it's very important what you said. Like, as a creative, you feel like you always have to give, right?
Yeah.
And then also there's a lot of, I always have to prove, and so I think that that's really key to just be able to take yourself out of it because it's a lot of hustle and bustle. So to be able to remove yourself physically from a situation, so it's like, okay, we can go in and just enjoy and breathe. And I'm sure the air is just different when you leave somewhere else.
Yeah, 100%. The air is different. And that's why, everybody in LA is always hiking on somebody's mountain. But there's a reason for it. I think it's important to, get out into nature sometimes, go on hikes, explore, just, doing things that have nothing to do with your career. Just having a whole week or weekend or day or whatever you can afford to just, replenish, to separate yourself. And yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah, and then also you get to just exist as a human, right? Outside of whatever work you do, outside of somebody giving you a deadline.
Yes.
It's like, I'm a human being. I can just exist, and that's okay.
Yeah. And I luckily live, I live in North Hollywood, but I live pushing far away from the top of North Hollywood. And what's great about that is, I don't live with people who are in the industry, so I get a separation. They have no idea what I do. They are minding their business. And so it's nice to be able to kind of have that distance and have to drive in to the city center. That gives me that space too.
Yeah, and then it's like now you get to turn a off switch and on switch to an extent, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I love that. And so how do you use your artistry as a form of self-care?
I think that my artistry is my therapy in a lot of ways. Like, my solo show is essentially, one of the it is the most cathartic, therapeutic things I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Like I performed it, 2 weeks ago in New York, and at the end I started crying, during the performance at the end. And sometimes I find myself crying, and I'm like, girl, why are we still crying about this? But it's because it's so emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and that creativity is an outlet for me. It's a way for me to process my trauma, to process, and it's still funny, right? I'm using
Mm-hmm.
comedy, but it has heart and it has a lot to say. And it's about my own kind of emotional, journey. And so, yeah, I think that art for me is an outlet for me to express my work. And to the earlier conversation, too, it's like, when you make your work about you in some way, it can be so healing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're being honest and if you're writing from your, if you're not writing from your wounds, you're writing from your scars, right?
Mm-hmm.
That allows you
that.
to like create even more opportunities to heal. When you write from your wounds, sometimes you're not ready and it's not going to hit. But when you write from a scar, it allows you to further heal in a real way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think for me, writing, performing, all of those things are a form of healing.
Yeah, and it's just honest. It helps you continue to tell an honest story and continue to build an honest legacy for yourself, right?
100%.
So you're like, girl, why am I crying? Because it's some real
real
stuff.
It's hitting something. The fact that I'm crying, I believe that tears are information, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like if I'm crying, it's like, what is that? What is this? I know why it makes me cry. It's a very emotional part of the show, but it's also like telling me that, there's still something in me that needs to heal this part of myself. This particular part of the story triggers that. So yeah, it's if you're not writing about yourself, you're missing an opportunity. And when I'm saying writing about yourself, it doesn't have to be the story of Rochee Jeffrey.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I bring me to whatever story I'm telling in characters and themes, and that's very helpful.
And also, it has to help to be that level, have that level of honesty and transparency. Yeah. It has to at least help to heal the wounds. You know what I mean? Because it's, again, like every Band-Aid, you need a Band-Aid, but at a certain point, you got to take the Band-Aid off and let it breathe.
Yes, 100%, 100%. And it's that authenticity, that vulnerability. It's giving all those wounds an opportunity to heal. As you're saying, you're pulling off that Band-Aid, you're exposing it to the world and to yourself. So yeah.
So last question. In your very successful stand-up tour, The Troll, you address keyboard warriors. What advice do you have for people hesitating to put themselves and their work out in fear of online bullying?
Oof, that's a good one. I mean, look, so I'll say a little bit about The Troll. So The Troll started, it was really born out of an experience a couple years ago. I performed stand-up in Culver City at this large venue, and they have a huge Instagram following. And they were like, hey, can we post your set on our Instagram? Now, me being a Leo and an only child, I was like, please, validate me. Give me attention. But I was also kind of nervous because at that time I had only performed stand-up maybe 7 times in my life. But I said, okay, cool, put it up. And the set had gone well, so that's why they asked. They put it up, and I got inundated with hundreds, like dozens upon dozens of like racist, fatphobic, all sorts of terrible, calling me the N-word left and right.
Wow.
And so it was very traumatizing because it was the exact reason why I had avoided performing stand-up for years. Because for years, people were like, you should do stand-up. And I was like, no. And then maybe 12 years ago or 10 years ago, I performed on my birthday. And I invited some people out to an open mic in Hollywood. And then I really never performed again because I was scared. I was scared of what people would say, how people would respond. So when that happened, fast forward 10 years, it happens. I almost was excited about the opportunity to say, well, see, I was right. Now I don't have to do this anymore, right? Because I kept getting pings and pings. People were like, you need to do stand-up. You need to do stand-up. And so when this happened, I was like, great. I can walk away. And this is what I would experience if I did it. Then I had a breakthrough where I realized that 2 things. Like, that, one, these people were just a manifestation of a culture that we have now of bullying and of trolling that has affected our politics, that has affected Hollywood. But these people were also just saying things that I already believed about myself, right? Because the only reason why it impacted me was because there's some part of me that feels like there's truth to it. Because when somebody insults you and it's completely ridiculous, you're not upset. You're just like, girl, what are we talking about, right? But when it's something that you believe to be true about yourself, that's when it really hits. And so I've always said that, like, after that experience, it really made me realize that if I continue to hide, the only thing I was doing was not living up to my potential. Because I can't avoid people not liking me, people thinking that I'm whatever. But what I can avoid is by doing that, all I'd be doing is protecting my ego, right? And not living up to my potential. And so for me, I tell anyone who's struggling with it, is like, is other people's like opinion of you worth you not living up to your potential? And for some people, the answer is yes, right? Their opinions matter more than me living up to my potential. But for me, I knew that I have so much to share and so much I could do with stand-up and in comedy that if I wasn't able to get out of my own ego, because our ego, sometimes we think ego is like, I'm arrogant or I think I'm the best. Sometimes ego is just you not putting yourself out there for fear of people saying negative things about you. And I can't allow ego to stop me from doing something that I'm destined to do. I have way too many people telling me that I should do it. And I've had way too much like early success in stand-up for me to be like, well, I don't have anything. I shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was a real journey and a real process for me. It didn't happen overnight. But I realized, like, yeah, people will say and think crazy things about me. But that doesn't mean that I'm not talented. It doesn't take away from the comedy. And the only reason why they're doing it is because they see something in me. Because if somebody is not worth your time, you don't even take the time to troll them. You just mind your business. You're just like, oh, this person's terrible. Keep it going. But if you're trying to get into somebody's head who you see has something to say, something that's powerful, that resonates, you'll take the time to troll or bully them. And so that means you're onto something if that's what's happening to you.
How you beautifully curated that into your story to kind of just transition the way that you tell stories on all mediums, because now you have that success story of knowing who you are, and you can't tell me nothing else.
100%. And that's what and also turning that experience into work, into material, into creativity, like literally using them trolling me and turning it into an entire show. To me, that was my way of saying, okay, well, I'm going to troll you by creating the troll.
Exactly.
And now you're going to have to, like, you're not going to stop me. In fact, you gave me material. You gave me something to do. So, yeah, I think, as you said, it's like there is, it's scary, but it's also, it could be life-changing. And also, you let people stop your bag, like,
and that's
you
crazy.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like that's where it gets crazy.
From getting money, from building your career, from building your sense of creativity. Nah, I'm not gonna let that happen. Who are these people? Half the time, they don't have avatars. They don't have no posts.
And they're not even the people buying
Sometimes
tickets. It's like,
they're not even the people. The other thing I say to anyone who is a performer or creative, there's an audience for everyone. So there might be 1,000,000 trillion people who don't like me. There's also 1,000,000 people who might. It may not even be 1,000,000, 100,000. If I could get 100,000 people to buy into whatever I'm doing, that's an audience. If I can get 10,000 people to buy into what I'm doing, that's an audience. So listening to the voices of the naysayers is really robbing you of an audience that still exists despite the negativity.
Because everybody deserves to have that representation. So it's like, I'm talking to my people when I do talk, or I'm bringing jokes for the people that get it
and like it.
Exactly.
Right? Everybody is not going to like you.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, fundamentally, everyone is not going to like you, and that's okay. That's okay.
It just is.
It's like when you're a child, like my biggest trauma growing up, one of my bigger traumas is my mom kind of made me feel like people liking me was the most important thing in the world. That was my currency. And that's actually the opposite of how you should be operating as an artist. Worrying about whether people like you, you will never do anything of significance. Like, people aren't going to like you. Lots of people don't like me. Okay.
Next.
like that used to be so scary to me, to be in a, like, people don't like me? Oh, no. Great. People don't like you. At least you're doing something that's interesting.
Yeah. And then also the perspective that you have later, like, maybe I don't like them, and that's okay too.
People don't like me. I don't like them. Like, and then there are also people who love me, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, none of this stuff is real. It's all like, and if you're black, you know how many people don't like you because you black?
Before you open your mouth.
Before you even open your mouth, most people on earth don't like black people. That doesn't mean that we are not awesome and great. Like, that's just the facts.
It's truly lit being black. So I would prefer to be black.
Exactly. So to me, like, that is just a silly way for us to be living. Free yourself. Be unlikable. Actually, if I wrote a memoir, it'd be called Be Unlikable. It's okay. Because the people who are universally liked aren't doing anything worth anyone's time. If everyone loves you, I guarantee you, you're not being authentic and you're not doing anything interesting.
And you may not love yourself.
That is exactly right.
Oh, I thank you. This is such a great pour into yourself. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. This sweet tea is sweet tea.
Listen, can we get a cheers for the tea?
Yes.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Picture Life. Picture Life is a premium photo booth rental company that delivers immersive, high-energy experiences for weddings, parties, and corporate events. They help clients capture unforgettable moments with customized branding and instant social sharing. Picture Life, your partner for every occasion.
Now, let's get a little wild and a little nosy in Wildflower, our rapid this or that game. Ready?
Yes.
All right.
Do I go first?
You go first.
Okay. Hip hop or R&B?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm gonna say both.
Both? You using a cheat? You using your vote cheat?
I'll say R&B. I'll say R&B. Yes.
All right, R&B. All right. What's your favorite R&B song?
I'm getting old because I love any 112 song.
We were listening to Cupid earlier.
Okay.
Love it. Yeah. We knew you were coming. We had to sanction it.
I love some 112. Okay. Howard or Hampton? We know the answer. The answer is Howard. No shade to Hampton, but it's Howard.
You got to do it, which y'all always do.
Oh, what, the real HU?
There it is.
It's the real HU. I have a quick funny story. When I first moved to LA, I went to this wine bar in Sherman Oaks, and this guy I was with, a bunch of us were out, and he's like, he went to Hampton, and I was arguing with him. I was like, listen, the only person who went to Hampton who matters is Wanda Sykes. Do you know that 5 minutes later, Wanda Sykes walks into this Sherman Oaks wine bar?
That
literally
is so
5
random.
minutes later, and we tell her the story, and she turns to me and she goes, Howard sucks. She absolutely, and then she bought us drinks. She was amazing.
We love Wanda.
Crazy.
That is
Crazy.
very funny.
I have a picture. It was nuts.
It's almost like you just
I literally
summoned her.
summoned her. I also summoned Denzel Washington. That's another story for another day.
Ooh. All right, well, let me see. Denzel. Let's summon him now. All right, next one. Stand up or acting for the screen?
I love acting. Acting is actually the thing that comes most natural to me because I started doing it when I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
And it's less nerve-wracking. Stand up, every time I perform, I want to throw up right before. It's always scary. And luckily I've heard like some of the biggest stand-ups, like they could be playing Madison Square Garden. They're still want to throw up right before. Mm-hmm. It's a scary thing to do. Acting is less scary. So I feel
like
acting.
you get the script with acting. Like you know what it's supposed to do. It's tried and true. We
100.
understood. It's gone through however many drafts. Stand-up is like, okay, this is the final draft, and then they could not care.
They could not care. Yeah. Or you could have performed it 100 times and everybody laughed 100 times, and then there's one time people are like, we hate you.
That 101st.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, I am interested for this one. Oxtail or jerk chicken?
Jerk chicken. Ooh, but oxtail has been coming for me lately. Like lately, I've been having some oxtail, and I'm like, ooh, this might change things for me. I had oxtail last week in New York. But I'm gonna say jerk chicken. Jerk chicken is reliable, it's good, spicy. Jerk chicken. Jamaican restaurants. Okay, film or TV. I say TV. I think I love film, but TV for me gives you more of a chance to tell. You just have more episodes, more time to tell really great stories. And TV has had a renaissance. Like it's competing with film in terms of quality, in my opinion. So say TV.
And you get more time to develop the artist.
Yes.
Not the artist, the characters and their stories.
Yes.
Film, you got to get to it.
Testing out new material or perfecting existing jokes. I would say perfecting existing jokes is way more fun because you know it at least works. Now, testing out new material is scary. So yeah, perfecting existing jokes would be my answer.
I was gonna say, and then that has to feel good because you're like, okay, no matter where this crowd's at, this is gonna get them.
Yeah, 100%.
We like some certainty here, especially in stand up. All right, this is your last one. Exposing a troll or canceling cancel culture.
Ooh. So here's the thing. I don't believe cancel culture exists. I think it's a fallacy because we've seen Mel Gibson literally went on a rant where he said that he wanted his ex to be attacked by the hard ER.
Yeah.
And he's still acting and directing. So does cancel culture exist? I don't know. I do think that I would love to cancel trolls though. I'd love to out trolls. I think that's fun. That's actually the framework for my solo show is the idea that, I go on a troll hunt to find a particular troll, and that's the framework for the storytelling. So, yeah, I love hunting down trolls.
We love a good troll hunt. We'll get you, we'll gather you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That was it. That's all our wildflower question. You did great. We know that no one can do this alone. And give them their flowers. We would love to know who is inspiring you. So, Rochee, who would you give flowers to and why?
I feel like who would I give flowers to? Can I start with the industry flowers?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really inspired by Quinta Brunson. I think that what she's done in terms of creating like a show that is a classic that will go down in history and being a performer and also just being a good person. Like, I've been lucky enough to meet her and she has such a great energy and I've heard nothing but good things about her. And I think sometimes in the industry, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
So I have tremendous respect for what she's done. And yeah, she's definitely an inspiration for me. And then in terms of I would have to say my partner is the person I would give flowers to because they have to deal with if you have to deal with me on a day-to-day, you deserve flowers and a vacation every day. And so just holding me down, I think it's a tough business to be in, and you have highs and lows sometimes that come in the same day. And so being able to have someone who can ride those waves with you and support you and lift you up and pour into you like you did earlier with this delicious tea, that's incredible. So yeah.
I just love that. First of all, we love Quinta, but also shout out to your partner.
Yeah.
We love when people are being able to be properly supported and cared for by the people that they love. So I love that.
Yeah.
There was no wrong way to go on that, but yeah, I love that. I just love your answers. All right, so we would love to conclude this episode by giving you your flowers. Very much
yes.
So, literally.
I love that. Amazing.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
And we have a nice little card in there.
Oh, you guys are not playing.
Because we want to just make sure we take this time to let you know. First of all, we appreciate you being here. We are so inspired by you, your work, your message, and how you rose from the concrete. Also, is there anything that you'd like to share with our audience before we leave?
Yeah, I have my solo show. It's going to Hollywood Fringe. You can go to thetrollshow.com to get tickets. Yeah, that's the big thing I have going on right now. And follow me on Instagram at Rochee Jeffrey. Yeah, thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure and a great conversation. And I learned how to plant seeds.
Yeah,
literally.
exactly. So now we got a green thumb.
Yes.
And it's like, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
So we really do appreciate you so much. And we definitely are about to pull up to the show.
Yes.
Because I have to see it.
I love it.
So thank you so much, Rochee. And we'll see you all on the next episode of From the Concrete. This episode is presented by Dirt Stained Roses Productions. Listen on all streaming platforms and watch full episodes at www.dirt-stainedroses.com.